What's up everyone, David from dodmedia. Today I was going to do a tutorial on how to make a hyperlapse, but I just haven't got the energy and I cannot be arsed to go into town and walk around with a camera and all that. So instead, I thought I would talk about a very little known feature in Premiere Pro, which is the automation of effect values. When you're putting effects on sound, on video, you can actually automate the single parameters, the individual parameters of an effect to change over time just by dragging the faders or the sliders up and down as the video is playing. And this is great because if you're doing audio work, for example, and you've got a delay on your sound and you want it to change or deteriorate or slow down over time, you can actually do that without having to try and fiddle around with keyframes. You can just play it through, listen to it, and drag a fader up or down to change the sound as you want, instead of guessing with keyframes and then having to go through and just faffing around with it. Instead, you can do it in real time, which gives you a better feel of how the effect is going to play out. And I think this is a really important tutorial because it gives you so much more control over the effects that you're using, that you're placing on your timeline, without necessarily knowing just how much you can do with them. And a lot of people smack an effect on a timeline, put a preset in, and then that's it. Like that's as far as they'll push it. When in fact you can really push it quite a bit further. So let's jump into Premiere Pro and I'll show you how to do this. But first, let's play that intro. Okay, so a good example of what I'm talking about when I say automating an effect or automating the parameters of an effect is listen to this promotional video that I made for Vedra and the DJ. This is a promotional video for a track or a series of tracks that he mixes, that he releases. Listen to the Charlie Chaplin sample that's going on from The Great Dictator, and fantastic, by the way. You should check it out if you don't know about it. If you listen to the voice, there's an analog delay applied to that voice, and the thing about analog delay is every time an echo happens, it deteriorates. So when the echo happens again, it will sound slightly more deteriorated than the previous time it happened. And with the automation process of the different values of that effect, you can really get it to sound weird and glitchy. So have a listen to this and listen specifically to that echo that's happening.
All unite!
That is just awesome. I mean, you're doing stuff in Premiere Pro that you would normally try and stick to something more audio dedicated like Audition or Pro Tools or Logic. And the fact that you're able to do this within Premiere Pro is a huge time saver if you're doing something like this for a company or a brand or a person, and it needs a super quick turnaround and you don't have time to really dive into the enormity of an audio mixing platform. You can do it in Premiere Pro and it's really great. Okay, so I'm going to show you what I mean by just dragging this swoosh sound effect down here, and you can hear it now. That's it just by itself. Now what I'm going to do is actually add a new item, and it's going to be bars and tone. And I'm going to make this because for some reason Premiere doesn't like it when the clip ends, the effect ends. However, if you can trick Premiere into thinking that there is an event happening after that, such as, a blank piece of audio, then the effect can actually continue. So what I'm going to do is unlink those with Command or Control L, get rid of the video because we don't need the video, and then on the gain on this, by hitting G on the keyboard, you can see it's at -12 because it's a -12 tone. I actually just want to make this as low as it'll go, which is -96. And that way, you can't hear a thing. Perfect. So what you have is essentially a blank event for Premiere to assume something's happening there. All right. Now if we come up to, actually I'm just going to get rid of that and bring it all back to the beginning. That way it's easier. Now, if you come up to audio and you go to audio track mixer, this little arrow here might not be dropped down in your case. If it isn't, drop that down and you get your entire bus of effects here. And this is where you really expand on your ability to make cool effects, make things sound good, actually sound good in Premiere Pro without having to send them to a different application. So let's go ahead and use the same example of what I showed you earlier, which is the delay and echo. I'm going to go for analog delay. Okay, I'm just going to add a noise limiter to this as well, a hard limiter, because otherwise I don't really want it to start distorting like crazy. So I'm just going to make that a -1 decibel limit. Okay, perfect. Now if I play this, that's it. The delay ends really quickly, and some people might be happy with that. Cool if that works for you, but I think it's a little bit of a shame not to jump into it properly. So if you double click on the effect, you come in here and you see all of your parameters, and there's a bunch of different setups. So you could say, okay, well, I want to have canyon echoes, and if you play this, okay, fair enough. Let's make this much longer so that we can really benefit from this. However, that's not quite there yet. What I want to do is have this swoosh happen and have each echo maintain its pitch but deteriorate more and more, and have it actually just kind of fade and glitch away. So here's what you do. If you've ever worked with audio within Premiere Pro or within any kind of audio interface, you've got off, read, latch, touch, write. These might be called different things in the different software that you're working with, but most of the time you've got touch and write and read. Latch may or may not be there. What's awesome about this, and you can see this in a tutorial that I made in the past about mixing audio in Premiere Pro, is that if you're playing something, if I have this on touch, okay, if I press play, drag this fader down and let it go, when we come back here and play it again, look at what this fader does. All by itself. Okay, now I didn't actually want that to happen to the track. I just wanted to show you that that's what touch does. So I'm just going to remove that. There we go. And put it back on read. That way, there we go. It doesn't go anywhere. Now, what's interesting here is that this targeted button works the same way as touch does on this fader, which means that if we change this to latch and then come up here, and where you see this targeted button, press that, and anything you do now with these faders in real time is going to automate. It's going to write an automation for this entire track. So anything that's on this A1 track, it's actually going to automate that effect to affect any event that happens within that track. And this is why we have this tone that's set at -96 decibels, so that it can continue the event. If there's a blank space in here where there's no event, it'll just stop the effect. I don't know why. I guess it's because, well, Premiere Pro's not an audio mixing surface, but nonetheless, it's pretty awesome. So we have this targeted, we have this on latch. Let's play around with this. I'm going to drag the feedback fader up to about 120. And you're going to hear this thing go absolutely nuts with a kind of distorted, crunched echo. Now if I play this back, I'm not going to touch anything. Just have a look at that feedback fader. Whoa, it's like magic. Okay, now let's play with another fader. Let's have the delay change slightly at around 9 seconds, and you'll see it starts making it glitch a little bit. Lovely. Now if we play this back. How cool is that? Let's try one more effect on here. Let's put it through a phaser. Okay, double click to open up that effect, and let's make it a phase 80. Let's click that targeted button. I'm going to drag this all the way up, make it a really fast modulation, and as it echoes away and deteriorates, I'm going to drag this down until it's a super slow until it's a super slow modulation. Okay, let's go. Awesome. And really, any single effect that you can put on this audio track mixer within Premiere Pro, you can effect this way. You can have it set to latch or touch or read or write or whatever, or write, sorry, not read, and have these targeted buttons automate your faders for you, every single parameter of an effect for you, to get the absolute best out of these effects. And really, there's quite a bit you can do with them. Let's have one more listen to that, but without the phaser. I actually kind of preferred it without it. Alright, there you go. I hope this tutorial was useful. I hope you learn how to use your effects a little bit more in depth, how you can automate them, and I hope that you apply this to your workflow to just make your creations a little bit more unique, a little bit more really going for it. Give this a thumbs up if you liked what you saw. Hit that subscribe button to get more videos by me at dodmedia. Leave a comment in the comments section. If it's nice, if it's helpful, if it's funny, I might give you something free from my store. And I'll see you in the next video.